Come along with me on a day trip as an airline pilot. If things go well, I'll leave Dallas-Fort Worth Airport, fly to Pensacola, Florida, fly to DCA, and then head back to Dallas, all in the same day. And this is not my normal trip. I pick this trip up at the last minute. Oftentimes, I have no idea where I'm going each day. I kind of live freely, and I pick up flying at will. It's kind of a mystery of the job. Parked in DFW Airport in the employee lot. All employee lot parking is free for airline employees. My normal show time is 1 hour before departure, and I spend a lot of time going to and from the employee lot. It takes a good 20 minutes on each side of my trips. I cleared KCM. I normally park in DFW Airport in the Terminal D parking just for consistency, because there's nothing like being gone 5 days and forgetting where you parked. Anyways, leg one, of course, is Dallas to Pensacola, Florida. Leg two is Pensacola to DCA and DCA to DFW. The first two legs are on the same aircraft, and the last one is on a 737. The plane came in on time. And of note, though, that last between leg two and leg three is 31 minutes, and that's the last flight of the night from DCA to DFW. If I miss it, I'm staying the night in DCA. DFW is a very big airport, and right now my airline is operating out of all 5 terminals, and this is the first time they've done this. They've done it over the last year or so, but in the past, they only operated out of 3 or 4. Right now, they're operating out of all 5. Busy time for travel. Over to Terminal C, and my first stop, of course, is Starbucks. I don't really need coffee, but it's free for me because I leverage their point system. Ordered my Cafe Misto with 3 shots of espresso, 5 pumps of sugar-free vanilla, and greeted my airplane. Again, it's an older Airbus 319. Nothing wrong with it. It's just less older. It has older CRTs inside. Plane's about 22 years old. First delivered to U.S. Airways back in 2000. Standard 319 with CFM engines and wingtip fences out there on the wings. I have flown this route in the Embraer 145, the CRJ700, the Embraer 175, the MD-80, and of course the Airbus. I know it well. Fairly straightforward, beautiful day to fly. Not many issues. And getting into Pensacola, of course, it is a smaller airport, a little bit of general aviation traffic. Before every flight, no matter if I've done it 1,000 times or not, we go over the entire route. We do it from the runway through the full departure, all the fixes en route, and then we do it just to the start of the arrival because the arrivals can change. But we verified all the points. They all look good. The distance looks good. We were totally full with 2 jump seaters. This is our weight and all of our numbers. Pause, I read all the numbers, but it wasn't anything crazy. We had no alternate was needed for Pensacola. Some extra fuel between release fuel and min fuel. Again, release fuel is how much fuel we need at the gate. Min fuel is how much we need when we set the thrust levers for takeoff. Arriving in Pensacola, they have 2 7,000-foot runways. We're landing on runway 8 today. Total runway available in the upper left-hand corner is 7,000 feet. Tapping on the left-hand side of the runway, and the landing distance available is also 7,000 feet. This is not always true for every runway, as you will soon see. Now, as far as how much distance we needed to actually use to land, we have a calculator for that. We needed 4,146 feet to stop, leaving about a 3,000-foot buffer. Plenty. We did the RNAV 8 approach into Pensacola. It was VFR, but that's just the approach they gave us. Not a big deal. Once on the ground, we had the normal hot brakes. Very common in the Airbus. We used the brake fans to cool them down. You can see the CRT flicker. I can't see that in real life. In real life, they are nice, normal-looking screens. For the next flight, same aircraft. We're doing Pensacola to DCA. Here are the numbers. Now, if you look, we're taking a lot more fuel than we need. Remember, release fuel is how much fuel we have to have at the gate. We have almost 10,000 pounds less from in takeoff. The reason being, fuel is cheap in Pensacola, so we're going to tanker it up to DCA to use for the next flight. Now, we can only do this if, of course, it makes financial sense to carry the fuel, because it does cost money to carry the fuel. And today, it did. Again, all the my dispatcher. That's the routing behind the screen. As you can see, we verified all the points. It's a fairly straight shot up to DCA. No big trips and no big weather to worry about. See the actual routing is Crestview, Goons, Macomb, IRQ, Illiby, Tubas, Raleigh-Durham, all those fixes. We see every single fix, and we compare what the clearance was or what we filed to what is on the JEP FD to what is actually in the computer. We compare all 3, and of course, the total distance. Today, it is 737 nautical miles up to DCA. Unlike Pensacola, DCA has a STAR, a standard terminal arrival routing. And so we will verify all these points once we're actually up in the air, because again, the STAR could change on the way there. But we verify all the altitudes is in blue and the speeds in magenta to make sure that the plane's computer It matches what's on the plate, and that the plane will actually comply. We were given the Mount Vernon visual, which is a visual approach backed up by the localizer. And as you can see around Baden, there's a jog to the left. The reason being, there's some very fancy houses over there, and they don't want us flying over their house. I'm not kidding. Most planes don't turn. We're supposed to, I guess, but it's a visual approach. My captain did this approach. He did a great job getting in there. For this approach, we needed 3,884 feet to stop. We were pretty light. Now, how long's the runway? The runway 1 is 7,169 feet, but not all of it is available. You have 6869 available for takeoff and for landing. It's about 300 feet less than the actual pavement length. Today, not a big issue, but it could be an issue if the runway is wet or if snow or icy, right? Or bad braking. Now, that's the runway we landed on. We're parking at gate number 45. It's a very short taxi from the gate to the runway, and we need a 3-minute cool down. So we actually exited it down at Sierra and went down Sierra Kilo to get to the gate. All worked out great. We pulled into the gate about 10 minutes early. That was a good thing because we didn't have that much time to get to our next flight. So I did a very quick video. I was parking at 45. I gathered my stuff and walked down to gate 38 to hop on my deadhead flight on a 737. Again, they left 10 minutes early. So if we were on time or even a few minutes late, I would have ended up staying the night in DCA. Now, here's a very sped up video of our departure. Again, I was sitting in, I think, 15A, the exit seat on the 737. Beautiful shot of the Pentagon as we turn left. Again, departing DCA requires a lot of extra talking and planning because we can't go anywhere near the White House. We have to make a pretty immediate left turn after takeoff. And if there are a situation where there's a good wind out of the west blowing us to the east, you could be blown over there into the prohibited area, which requires paperwork and all that crazy stuff. Airline actually recommends us use the autopilot right away after takeoff to make sure that the plane will quickly and abruptly, if need be, make the left turn, because pilots would tend to be a little bit slower and make it more comfortable. But again, if it's really windy, you don't want that. You want to get over to where you need to be. Here's our landing in DFW. Fairly firm landing for a 737. Minimal flare, but you know what? It all worked out and we all get paid the same. Here's how each leg went. We were early. Every single leg was early. It was a good day to fly. Again, me waiting for the employee bus, as I do so much. I actually we parked in Terminal A and I went out to Terminal E because E and D share the same lot. Now, as far as my pay, how did my pay go for this day? Well, not too bad. I was paid for 11 hours and 15 minutes, and I flew 3 hours and 36 minutes. There's my fun Chevy Bolt waiting for me in the parking lot. Hope you enjoyed my day in life up video. Have a fabulous day. And as always, thank you for stopping by.